everyone. Welcome to this week's Fireside Creators. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Sherry Pallas. This week's show, we are not tackling tough topics. We are discussing an amazing festival called the Wild Goose and what you can expect from such a uniting experience. So it's going to be fun. Thank you for joining us, and I am looking forward to all of your comments and questions. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, please grant StreamYard access so we can see your name when you have a comment or question. Please remember to keep all comments and questions related to the show topic and that this is a safe space. I want to give a shout out to our top sponsors, Ruth, Kirsten, Michelle, Ray, and Heidi. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. If you like the show, you can support me by going to sherrypallas.com, and there you will find literally dozens of ways to help. It's as little as $3 a month. So thank you in advance, and thank you for welcoming us into your home and joining this conversation. I appreciate you all. We are doing a live show at the Wild Goose Festival. It's July 13th through the 16th, and so I want you all to come watch and be a part of the show live. You'll hear all about it tonight, and stay tuned for a discount code for your adult weekend tickets. And we are approaching our 100th show. I'm so excited. And for it, I would love to hear from you. Send me a short video or a few words about what the show means to you. If it's affected you in any way, share that with me. The show is always about you, so I want to hear your voice. Send it to info@sherrypallas.com, and I am looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, enough housekeeping. Let's meet our guests and get smarter. First, we have Tu Francis. He is a tenured, let me show you things. I knew I was forgetting something. There we go. Get my tech going. Okay. Tu Francis is a tenured professor, scholar, public speaker, active musician, and a family man. His research interests focus on initial teacher certification, education program development, and building partnerships with in-service teachers. His speaking and musical efforts focus on helping churches and other organizations raise money for philanthropic causes. Welcome back, Tu.
Hello, thank you. Glad to be here.
So glad you're here.
Yeah.
Next, we have maybe Tim. Why is it not changing? Okay, well, Tim, you don't get yours. Tim Kerr is the sponsor relations and wing coordinator at the Wild Goose Festival. Let's just go ahead and add him due to technical difficulties. Tiff doesn't want to leave the screen.
Hello there, friends. I don't have much of a bio anyway, so it's all good. You know?
Yeah, it's on here. Let's see if we can pull
glad
Greg's.
to be here.
And Greg's isn't pulling either. Okay, so we're just going to Greg.
Hey.
I can summarize it. He is a Space Force captain,
Chaplain.
unofficially.
Right.
Okay, guys, we are almost to the goose, and I am just getting more and more excited by the day. What can we expect this year? What is the cool stuff that's happening? Hello, Ben. Hello, Carl. Hello, Facebook users. Hi, David. Good to see you. So I'm so excited. What's going to happen this year? Don't all jump at once.
That's a big question.
Okay, so who's opening this year?
I don't know yet. I mean, it may have been in the schedule, today, but honestly, I don't know. Have you guys heard? Or
I've been looking at the emails. A lot of the regulars are going to be there, as we know.
I saw,
which I'm excited. And that's not, when I say regular, that is not a negative. That's a thank goodness they're still there. Right.
Absolutely.
So, how about what we could talk about is what is the goose? Would you
Yes,
be okay with us?
there.
What is the goose? And I don't want to answer that question first. Tim, what's the goose?
Who knows, right? It is, my wife and I describe it a lot as our hippie Christian festival. The official tagline, spirit, justice, music, art. So it's a gathering of folks that from across the country that are trying to live into, I'd like to say the way of Jesus, but it encompasses more than that. So it's not a overtly Christian festival, but a very much a place to come and interact with amazing people, artists, musicians, thinkers.
Well, last year was my first year, and between all of the speakers, the activists, the social justice message, one thing reigned over everything, and that was the sense of community. I mean, I loved the camping, the RVs. Everybody is like there on one big vacation together, all learning how to be better stewards of our planet, the people. It was, I was hooked. I was obviously hooked. I got involved with it this year. We're going to be doing the show, but the camaraderie, the instant feeling like everybody was family that was there because we were all looking towards the same goal of love. So I think when you say that it's towards Jesus, that's the way it is. I mean, it was not any type of religious message, but more so walking in love, how to be better to your common person, how to do all those things.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny when you asked us who was headlining, and we're all embarrassed because we are a big part of the Goose, and we don't even know. And the reason why we don't know is honestly because that's not the biggest part of the Goose.
Nope.
That's like a sub part. Like the speakers and all this stuff are amazing, but it is the community. Yep. Seeing each other, it's like a class reunion of your best friends.
It is. Well, so Toof and I met however many years ago. Toof lives in Detroit. I live in Northeast Florida. And now Greg, and now Sherry, of course, we consider ourselves dear friends. We see each other once a year, you know, and we've gotten fortunate here lately to see each other a little more, but we're 1,000 miles apart. Yeah. And my wife sitting over here at the pool said we're more than friends. Okay. So,
yeah, we're family.
I mean, I always think about when Jesus said, who are my mothers and brothers? It's those. So it's like, this is my family. Honest to goodness, like these people are my brothers, and I know them as well as anybody in the world. And it's just amazing because all we see each other is once a year. But it's become that.
It has.
Well, and I mean, it's not, you know, one of the problems I had with churches is the exclusivity.
Right.
And I have a pretty cool story about somebody on Facebook said, Danae is speaking along with you, Sherry. You should totally go meet her. And I did, bringing her into your guys' campsite. And now she's a regular. We're all friends. There's more people coming in this year to experience it. So it's the more the merrier.
Absolutely.
Tons of laughs, tons of drinking. Yeah. You know, it's
tons of music.
Circle, it's all
Yes.
Well, I'm excited what you got there on the screen right there too. Melva Sampson, opening night preacher, along with music from Jay Quest, who's going to be to that first night. And, I mean, other big names too, like writer, contributing writer to the New Yorker, Bill McKibben is going to be there. I'm talking about Brian McLaren, Diana Butler Bass, all those regulars that have been there. John Pavlovitz is going to be there as well. I said Brian McLaren already. I'm really excited musically for Spencer LaJoy to be there this year, and also too, I'm really hoping to hit up Dr. Roberto Shea Espinoza as well. They are a wonderful speaker and presenter, and I can't wait to see that. So yeah, it's quite the community. It's going to be a great gig once again down North Carolina,
and it's fun. It's fun. Go ahead.
I just want to say, just to close this out, according to the website, it's a place where all kinds of people come together, not only to hear great music and incredible speakers, but also to dive into lively conversation with thought leaders, writers, dreamers, artists, visionaries, social justice activists, and peacemakers. The ones you will find on the official program and the ones you might meet while just getting lunch or hanging out.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I earlier I agree with you. That may have sounded a little exclusive. No, I'm actually inviting people to come and meet your people. Like you will literally meet your people at this place.
You will.
And
you will.
That's just how it works.
And the cool things, those speakers. Did Kirsty pop on and tell us?
Yeah, that was Kirsty. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Kirsty. Kirsty and her wife do an incredible job with the music. I mean, hats off to them. But the beauty of the speakers, all these high-profile people are on site. There's no blue room. Okay, they're just literally wandering around, and will wander into your campsite. And how many times have we had that happen? Just like,
oh yeah, well, me.
Yeah.
The Goose is held at Van Hoy Farms in North Carolina.
Yep.
And it is July 13th through the 17th. It's almost like a summer camp for adults, but there are kids there.
Yeah.
There's beer tents. In fact, Greg, tell us about beer and hymns.
Oh, every evening at 9 o'clock after the main stage closes, another stage opens up. There's a little beer truck nearby that pours, and we all gather in the round. Toof is a part of that too. You can see him magically carry the djembe, and if we're really lucky, we'll see him play both the djembe and the guitar at the same time. See if you can master that. But we sing the classics, all of these old gospel tunes, and I know last year, as
not reverently. Not reverently.
No.
Oh no.
Well, it depends on your definition, though.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We think it is.
We think, yeah.
Terrible theology, but good music.
Yes.
Exactly. There's nothing worse than like blood atonement theology. I shouldn't say nothing worse. There probably is something worse than blood atonement theology, but that's a lot of the tunes that we sing. But it's really quite amazing when you get a couple hundred people singing in like 8-part harmony at the top of their lungs.
Right.
And we've had some amazing experiences. I think my first Goose, Amy Grant, was the main stage or closing main stage on the last night there. She came over to the beer and hymns tent, grabbed one of my guitars and played El Shaddai, and the crowd was just
sobbing. Everyone was sobbing.
It was mind blowing, just amazing. And that's just the way that the beer and hymns works every evening. A group of people that gather in the round, we play some music, we shout out some numbers, and we play all kinds of all the old gospel tunes and some contemporary secular pieces as well. Gotta throw in pieces that the community knows, and Wagon Wheel being one of them has always been a popular tune to play every night. So
last year on Saturday night, I was standing with Emily, Toof's wife, watching and participating in the beer and hymns, and she and I watched a lightning storm come, and we were standing there going, is it going to get hit? It would be so appropriate if it got struck by lightning. We were just waiting, like, is it going to happen?
I do want to say one thing. When you think about beer and hymns, there are people who think it is irreverent. Greg and I we do Detroit Beer and Hymns, and we've been told, this is not holy and you shouldn't do this. And people have told us what songs to play and not play. And it's so unchristian. Like, that behavior is so unchristian. It's like, no, this is the spirit of Christ more than the rules that you're looking for. So I think it's extremely reverent according to Christ's character and goodness.
Okay.
It is all about community.
I just wanted to stress that we're not going,
Oh, I know. I absolutely agree with you. It's amazing.
It really is. Yeah.
Later in the evening, and beer is being had, so the voices do tend to rise, if you will.
Well, and because of the nature of it, I think it was the first time that I actually heard some of the lyrics of these songs that I was singing since I was 6. And I was like, what the fuck have I been singing?
Only in the
what is this?
Jesus. Yeah. The theology is quite awful.
Drum circles. What's that?
Which is why that's why we throw in tunes like Sweet Caroline, just to balance everything out.
But then we get to it as well, So
yes.
And it got goosebumps, and it's good stuff.
Yep. Talk about the drum circle.
Yes, I just said. So what about the drum circles?
All right. So the drum circle at the Goose is really amazing. Like, that I have the privilege of like pressing it and being the leader of the thing, and I love it. And the spirit people bring is just really amazing. I just invite you, if you know how to play the drums, or even if you don't, bring something and come and just pound out together. It's so amazing. So we'll probably do that at like about 5 or 6 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. And then probably Saturday night post beer and hymns, we will do a drum circle also. So it's fun. It's a great time.
This show will be airing on Saturday at 4 p.m. So we've got an amazing slot. So everybody come over there, and then we'll move from there to Tooth's drum circle.
That's right.
I'm not allowed to drum, so don't.
Yeah. Hey, a little bit of logistics from those that were there last year. It's hot in North Carolina in July.
Yes.
That's breaking news. We're doing our best to work on the climate crisis. That may take a few thousand years before we bring the temperature down, but we are doing a lot of stuff for heat mitigation this year as much as possible. So there's going to be some shade. If those of you that have been to Hot Springs at the main stage, in the field of the main stage, those shade sails, those were ours, of the Gooses. We have those. They're going to be strategically placed. So doing a lot of stuff to work on the heat, which was tough last year.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments from last year was going up to the water fountain to refill my drink. And there were tons of kids, and they all had squirt guns, and the mom starts freaking out. Don't spray her, watch out. You know, she's doing this. And I just looked at him and I said, you know what, go for it. Just don't hit my purse. And I held my purse out, and they got me so good. They thought I was nuts for letting them spray me, but it truly was one of the highlights of it. I just got clobbered by all the kids with the water guns. And I walked over to Tooth and I'm like, look.
Yeah,
we had a cat drive by there.
Yeah.
We could talk about the children's program. It might be good if people are wondering whether they can go with kids, because
so you may know more than I, but Godly Play is a national organization that does a lot of children's stuff. The Pittsburgh arm of that, they're really involved, and they're 100% involved this year. But do you know more, Tooth? I mean, go ahead and speak to it.
We brought our kids. So the first year we went, our daughter was 4 and our son was 6. So they were little. Mm-hmm. I think if they were much younger than that, it would have been hard. But we were there with somebody who had like a 2-year-old. It was hard, but they did it and they made it. They didn't regret coming. There are 2 like long meetings for the littler kids, the like K through 5th grade or something. And those are fine, and they watch and the kids have fun. You will have to watch your kid a little more. You know, you'll get that respite, that like 2-hour respite, unless they've changed the structure, but I don't think they have.
That's about
older kids, the middle school and up, there's almost all day events. So there's things, and there's a group of kids that sort of chum around together and do that. So that's nice too. But there are things for kids to do. But you would have to watch them. But we always brought our kids every year we had to, and we never regretted it. It was fine. They were safe. We had a great time.
Thank you, Greg, for putting that link up there. If I may parlay on that, Tooth's daughter last year, Mabel, fully immersed herself in the Wild Goose Festival to the point. Yeah. It was Saturday night.
She was 12.
She hit the wall Saturday night?
Yeah. No, she was 12. Just so you know.
I know, but I'm saying by Saturday night she had ran so hard she had to go down. Are we still live?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You're fine. Yeah.
But a bunch of the other kids got together, and literally I don't know that they had much adult supervision, and painted the mural on the back of the pool bathhouse walls. And I mean, that was just literally, they come up with that on their own. So we're hoping this year to parlay that into having, for the teens, having a little bit of structure, but really just let them create, let them do what they want. And I hope Mabel will be a big part of that. A few of it.
Yes. Wow. I can say she's really excited. Like one of my son likes it. He doesn't get as involved. My daughter, she's just totally immersed. She does like serves all day and has all these friends. It's pretty amazing.
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
She's amazing.
She was Cody's right-hand person
Yes.
at Silent Disco. Is another fun thing.
Silent Disco.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed a silent disco last year, and this year I'm going to do it the first night. Every night.
Should we tell them about silent disco? It's like one of the most fun things in the world.
Yeah, it really is. Go for it.
That's great.
No,
It's so quiet. It's so quiet. It's one of the. I think when I heard about silent disco that first time that I was down there in Hot Springs, North Carolina, I'm like, what is this all about? And then we walked by the tent where silent disco was, and there's just a bunch of people with headphones on that are all different colored and kind of like
glowing in the dark.
And they're all just dancing away, and you can't hear a thing except those people that are singing along with the lyrics, which is absolutely hilarious. Because if you go from beer and hymns where people are trying to sing in tune and then over to the silent disco where all the people can't hear themselves sing, it's a night and day difference in the music world, my friends. It is.
So if you don't dance, you can just watch everybody else.
Yes, you can just watch, and it's funny.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
Hilarious.
So there's two channels. So there's two songs being broadcast, and if you have one color, you're listening to one song. If you like, and so people are dancing to different beats. Yes.
Oh, how funny!
It is so fun. It is a really blast, and that starts at like dark. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and it's pitch dark in there, other than glow in the dark stuff all around. It's very cool,
and it's a giant tent, so they can do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So back to the heat.
Yes.
I almost died last year. I was so pretty when I walked in, and 5 minutes later, my hair was up. I was dying. So what can people do to prepare for that who are going to be there? Bring pools. I know that we're talking about getting some pools or some slip and slides. Is there any place to cool off there this year?
Well, maybe. We as far as AC spaces, I don't know that we made any headway on that.
Yeah, well, camping, you can't expect that.
Yeah, that's what I say. So I think we're going to try to have some, like the
misters
and things like that.
Yes,
and as much stuff as we can, and then so those of you that are watching that aren't aware, we are. When I say our campsite, it's the people that are on screen you're seeing, has evolved into quite the extravagant commune.
That you're welcome at. That you are all welcome.
Yes, come see us.
Yes. We would be upset if we didn't. So we're going to have some water features there that'll help keep you cool. We will do our best to have beverages of your choice throughout the evening.
And the food is great. They have all of that.
Yep.
And they have, at one time, Danae and I were walking, and I looked at her. I'm like, I'm going to pass out. And then right at that moment, Tim came by with the golf cart. There's golf carts to move you around. I'm like, you saved my life, Tim.
Yes.
There's golf carts to move you if you have trouble walking or getting around because it's a pretty big compound.
Right.
So there's
last year was the first time we had it at Van Hoy Farms. And so whenever you have so I used to plan conferences at my old church, and whenever you have it at a new site, it is like you can't get your head around the space really until you go through one whole conference there. Yeah. Right. So now they know how hot it was, so they're going to accommodate. But Cody's already said
we've tightened the venues a little bit as well. That's the kingly we or whatever. Rick Meredith was the guru on that. He juggles all the plates. So the festival site proper where everything is going to be a little easier to get around to, So now, granted, when Rick overlaid a map of Hot Springs on the Van Hoy, and it's about the same difference. Hot Springs, you had to walk a little bit, but you had mountains and the river and whatnot and tree coverage, so it didn't seem as bad, if you will. So
yeah, just shade, just more shade. Can Kirsty,
If
you
you're
really
staying in
should
a
have been on the
tent,
show tonight.
I was thinking the same thing, Sherry.
Yeah,
Kirsty should for sure be here.
Here, you know what? I'm not friends with her. Are you guys? You guys can send her the link. Let's get her on. You want to come on?
Kirsty, will you jump on? I would love if Kirsty would jump on.
Hold on.
I can send it to her.
Yeah, will you? Let's
And
get her on.
sure.
She has all the good information.
Sorry. Oh, you're fine. I have people at the pool here that may get on live. You never know.
There you go. Yeah, she's coming on. So send it to her.
Okay, good.
I got it here. Hold on. There, I just sent her the link.
Okay, good.
So yeah, she's saying late night stuff will be starting earlier this year. Main stage
Very
starts
good.
at 9. Beer and Hymns is 9 to 10. Then at 10, there's the silent disco.
Yep.
And a new live music Blues Honky Tonk dance club.
Woo.
Then at 11, you have Acoustic Goose with all the musicians who want to jam and late night worship with the Q Collective.
There's like 50 acoustic guitars all playing together in a tent for Acoustic Goose. It's pretty cool. Lots of different stuff. Banjos, like all sorts of different instruments. So that's a lot of fun.
So last year I missed most of this because I didn't stay on site. I got a hotel, which was like the closest one to the festival, but it was still a 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
So I had to leave before most of the stuff was happening or would get there late.
Gotta stay on site.
You gotta stay on site.
Gotta stay on site.
I mean, if people are like, "Oh, I can't camp." Get an RV. Do the glamping.
Rent the RV. It's
if
worth it.
Shout out! Glamping is open and available, so hop on them.
Those have AC in them.
Not all of them. Not all of them. It's extra and yada yada yada. And another shout out too, Sherry, as we're talking about the Goosecast tent is live podcast from all your favorite podcasters, including Reverend Dr. Sherry Palace. 4:00 on Saturday, right? That you can go hang out and watch them live, do a podcast if that's something you're into. That's Friday and Saturday all day. So,
Hi.
There you are.
Oh.
So now we've got the good stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it. What's going to be going on? Kirsty? Can you hear me?
I don't think she can hear us. She can hear us.
Oh, I've got some kind of lag. Let me see if I can figure out earbuds or sorry, wasn't planning on this, so didn't have the text set up.
No, it's so amazing to have you. I'm so excited to see you.
End of my work day and still in my office and all that fun stuff.
As she's finding her way on here too, two like beautiful people to know and to meet at the Goose are Kirsty and her spouse Terry. Just wonderful souls. They work so hard for several different aspects of the Goose, and without them, the Goose can't really be the Goose. I look forward to seeing them every year. I know they're so busy, and there's so much I want to say to them and say thank you for everything. Just don't get a chance because they're always running around. But it sounds like it looks like Kirsty's got her ears on now. So,
well, thank you for jumping on.
Oh.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I've got like a really I'm hearing the conversation twice with like a delay on
that
it.
means that you're still logged in somewhere.
Things.
That means that you're still logged in somewhere.
Yes, of course. Of course, I do. I still have my other window open. It was that easy. Thank you.
Yay! Good.
Yay! Good. All right, now we're good.
We've been singing your praises for like 5 minutes, and you didn't hear any of it.
I heard it twice. That was even better.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's good. That's worth it.
So no, yeah. With my wife Terry Gonder and I, we've been involved in co-curating the music along with Jeff Clark, the festival producer, for about 5-6 years now. And then that kind of runs into being stage manager and putting everything together. And so I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. And then on the weekend, I'm mostly just like exhausted around the stage. But yeah, it's really exciting. So we're combining our music venues this year. Is the first big piece of news. So rather than having like the cafe in the daytime and main stage in somewhere else in the evening,
That's interesting.
yeah, we are going to have
Yes.
a brand new stage called the Commons stage, which will be a bigger, expanded version of the cafe. So right next to the beer tent, it'll have all the food around it. Music's going to start there at like 7:30 in the morning. It's going to be like the place to be and to hang out. We've got this great duo called the Rustic Riders who are going to be like waking things up early in the morning.
That's amazing.
It's going to be. Then the Waking the Goose is going to be now in the living room. So there'll still be a little bit of music happening over there. We've got Alethea, we've got Charles Petty and Folk Psalm coming back.
Ashes and Arrows.
Oh, that's going to be the close. Yeah. So then daytime music happens in the common stage throughout the day. We take a break around 5 o'clock for sound checks and that kind of thing. And then the evening set just kicks off with our song circle, our Goose in the Round, at the common stage. And then we keep it going till about 9 p.m. Yeah, we've got Ashes and Arrows closing out our Friday night set. If you saw them last year, they are a trio. One of their members, Kieran, played the Goose 2 years ago, fell in love with the festival, which is one of our favorite things is when we bring musicians in and they just like get the Goose. That's when we try and get them back. And so he called us the next year and said, well, I'm not doing solo stuff, but I'm playing with this trio. And I don't know how Ashes and Arrows were like the hit, I think, of last year's Goose. If anyone caught them, like they were packing out the cafe. And since then they've gone on, like they've been a finalist at Merlefest. They won some online contest to open for Judah and the Lion. Like they're really making some waves.
Fantastic.
I think it's another wonderful. Yeah, three guys, tight harmonies, beautiful songwriting. I mean, to me, it's another one of these really cool things about the music at the Goose is even if you haven't heard of these people, you will. We had Amethyst Kia at the Goose the year before she was Grammy nominated.
Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And we also get big names. We get some big names like the Indigo Girls a few years ago.
Amy Grant.
Yes,
the Red Dirt Boys.
Yep. We've got a couple this year who I'm not allowed to announce yet, but you're going to want to be down at main stage on Saturday, on the common stage.
So are we still doing the main stage?
No, common stage is the main stage. We're not using the arena. Not using the arena this year.
Oh wow!
So experimenting with something different. So I think glamping's going to be around the top of the arena. Tim, am I right with that?
You are, and I wasn't sure if I didn't want to speak to all that because I wasn't sure.
Come on, this is the pre-show. You got to give us all the good stuff.
That Rick would probably shoot an arrow through me. But that's very exciting what y'all have come up with. The arena is one of those, the best of times, the worst of times. I know Kirsty, you and Terry loved it because it was incredible for a stage, but the space just didn't work. It was too big. It was too impersonal. It just didn't work. And when y'all see the layout that everyone's worked on, you're gonna fall in love with it.
I'm really excited.
That's good. I'm excited. Yeah.
Well, and it's going to keep everything like you say. There will be the music and stuff will be just right there on top of us, and I can't wait.
I think it's going to be a very goosey vibe. And then to be able to just like at Hot Springs have beer and hymns like in the pub tent. So the common stage is going to be linked with these shade panels to the pub tent where beer and hymns will be.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, good. I see exactly what you're saying. That's amazing.
So it's going to be interesting. And then this late night blues honky tonk dance thing. But if disco isn't your style and you don't want to like do the silent disco, we're going to have a live music dance club kind of thing.
Oh wow,
that's amazing. Amazing. This is new. This is like breaking news, everybody.
Breaking news. With Valamar Jansen and her husband Frank, who are like amazing amazing musicians. Valamar's been to the Goose a couple of times. Frank was part of Goose House one year. And he's just the best blues player. So yeah, if you want to be dancing late night to live blues, honky tonk kind of music, common stage. And then, yeah, late night, we're going to have Acoustic Goose, which is this open jam session. The guy who's hosting it this year, Chris the Bard, does a lot of song circles. And so is really good at building and holding space for community. So that's great. And we've got late night worship with Q Collective as well in that same time. So yeah, heaps of stuff to do. Stay on site and stay up late.
Yes.
I like it. Stay on site, stay up late. I like it.
Okay,
Yes.
So let's talk about the art aspect of it.
And speaking of staying right there,
What's that?
there's a lot of the beauty of the Goose. If you buy a ticket to the Goose, which Sherry's going to give you a code in a little bit to save $50 when you buy your ticket, that your camping comes free. Now it's just a place to put your tent, but nonetheless, if you tent camp, there's plenty of places for you. Glamping, still
Bring
plenty
bug
of
spray.
stuff. What's that?
Bring bug spray.
Big bug spray, of course.
You are camping. We are in the wild.
There may be a few RV spots opening up in the next couple of days. Don't count on that, but keep an eye out. If it is, we'll blast it far and wide. If you see an RV spot come available and you want one, you need to get it then, not after you go to the bathroom, because it'll be gone. And I saw my friend Ben just popped on there. Another note: if you have a disability, don't let that deter you. We do our best to work to make everything accessible. So that's a great note. Thank you, Ben.
Those golf carts, man, they rock.
Yeah.
And the Van Hoy Farms too, from all the conversation that Tim we've had and Toof, you and I have had, they've really done a lot of work to be as accommodating for this festival. In the short time that it took us to get there, I know it's kind of a quick change, wasn't it, Kirsty, just to switch from Hot Springs to Van Hoy?
We had so little notice between being told we couldn't come back to Hot Springs, having to find a new site, and then get the festival up and running. The people who are part of that pull off miracles. I mean, I don't know how that crew manage it.
They installed water and electric that was not there before for like 50 RVs for us. Like that doesn't say how accommodating they are. They want this festival there. It's an exciting place.
It is. It's a neat. Casey Van Hoy is the owner now. His father owned it. It's a family-owned campground, festival grounds, and he's just more than accommodating. Couldn't say enough good things about him.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the art aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, there was a tent where people could create art. There were all kinds of different things. What's going on this year with it? Anything exciting?
There's lots of different. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, that's it. The studio. Yeah, the studio will be back. It's there. It's available. There's curated things there. You can also, do your own thing. So yeah, there's lots of good stuff there.
There's there's lots of kinds of art, right? So there's like a storytelling the weekend, so people can go and share their story, and you sign up and you get to 5 minutes on the mic to just tell a story. So there's an art form. There's poets. There's people doing different kinds of things, and there is the studio. So a lot of different art forms are represented throughout the whole time you're there.
It has an artsy vibe.
It does.
We've got a duo again. I think they've been to the Goose before, but this is the first time I think they're coming to actually bring their voices. Hot Glue and the Gun, and they're going to be in the studio for a couple of days, doing some amazingly. Yeah, we've had such fun conversations with them about what they're bringing and what they're planning to create. They're going to involve families and kids, and so that's happening in the studio tent on Friday and Saturday. I think it's 11 a.m.
That's great.
Both days. That's worth catching.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. So, Chief, there was a guy there last year. I think he played the guitar and told a story. Older gentleman. You said I had.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started about Ken Medema. I might start crying just standing here thinking about this guy. Okay, if you've never seen Ken Medema, I'm not kidding you. So I'm a musician. I've been a musician for 30 years. He is my favorite musician on the planet. And it's not even close. Like, this man is like a magician. He makes songs up based on the stories people are telling in the audience, and they're always amazing. So you have to come and see Ken Medema. I have to say, every time I see him,
You'll be there this year, right?
Serious
Okay,
crush.
good.
Yes. He's an amazing man, and he's kind, and he's good. And it's so he's a real highlight.
Ken is something special. A number of years ago, through Eden Theological Seminary, is based out of St. Louis, as part of the United Church of Christ denomination. They had a grant from the Lilly Foundation. This was back in the very late 1999, early 2000s. And they did this youth program, doing one youth retreat in each of the 50 states. And one of the staff people from Eden Theological Seminary caught me just as I was leaving Michigan to move to Florida. And the first official gig was down in Florida at a conference center down in the Lake Placid area, down in South Central Florida down there. Tim, you probably know where that's at. And Ken Medema was there. And it was mind-blowing. Tears, just because of his ability to connect through music and lyrics. He's just a genuine artist, a gentle and loving soul. You can't go wrong with meeting Ken.
He played behind the writer of The Shack. So the writer of The Shack was speaking like 3 years ago. Writer of The Shack was speaking, and Ken would play his songs. And the guy, what's his name? William
Paul
the
Young.
writer of The Shack.
William
Paul Young. He looks at Ken Medema, and so he would tell a part of a story, and then Ken would make up a song. He looks at him, he said, "Ken, you are a gift to the universe." I'm like, oh my God, he is a gift to the universe. Yeah. So that's enough man crushing on Ken Medema.
I was going to say, you fanboy on him so huge.
I am fanboying, I know.
Yes, I have to see him this year, because last year was like...
Don't jump the cover either, because Ken's an old white guy. You're like, there's no way this guy. It's what he does with his music is the magic. Again, he will, the main stage speaker. He will sit and listen, and then after that, he has a song that literally recaps this whatever the message was on stage.
Yeah,
verbatim, more or less. Yeah.
Right.
Will Tattoo Stories be back?
I don't know if it was there last year.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody submitted or not.
Yeah.
Tattoo is always a good thing. Ben is one of the folks that's part of our campsite, the Slippery Slope. So if not, Ben, we'll do it. I'm at the pool. Y'all excuse the noise. We'll do tattoo stories at our campsite one night if we need to, and we'll just invite everybody.
There you go. I'm sure I will be doing lots of Facebook Lives like I did last year from the event too. So we will be doing a formal show there, but lots of informal stuff going around all the time.
We're
so
excited.
What else?
Coming up. What else?
We've got 5 weeks.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about food there at the Goose too, because I know some people always question about, hey, you're kind of like in the middle of nowhere, so what's to eat? What's cooking there on the Goose?
So, well, they have lots of good food trucks. They've a good selection of food
trucks.
We
got Heather has done a great job. We have, I don't want to say twice as many this year, but quite a good selection. 2 barbecue trucks.
Good.
Yeah, you can't have barbecue. So there's plenty of food trucks. If you're camping, the little town it's in is keyword little. There's a Subway and a Dollar General and this and that 15 minutes away that you can restock if you need to. But
the food there was awesome.
Yeah.
And cheap. It wasn't like football prices or baseball prices. Right. I got a whole meal for like $4.
Yeah.
And there's always standing invitation too. If you find the right fifth wheel in town with some guy wearing a goofy baseball cap with a burger on it, if the grill's fired up, chances are you might get some free food too.
People be walking right next to it. We're like, hey, want a hot dog? You want a hamburger? Just like giving it away as people walk by. That's just kind of how the goose is. Everybody does.
We liken it to Jesus feeding the 5,000. You just put stuff out, and there's just always enough. There's always enough.
I'm so excited.
I'm just waiting to stock up on my chutney from Kerala Curry again this year. That's your tip.
Good?
You like the Kerala, the red chutney that Kerala Curry put on all of their stuff. They'll sell it in jars, and I eke it out between festivals to make it last. It is good on anything.
That's great. That's hilarious.
And there's tons of swags. I got this T-shirt, which is too much hair. It's not the system, we break the system. So there's tons of swag there. There are cups, shot glasses. You'll feed your brain, your heart.
The bookstore. We have
bookstore's great.
I mean, so I know nobody has enough books. You will be amazed at the selection of cutting edge authors. It's
Yes, in fact, Karen, if you're still listening, you have like 2 days to try and get your book in there. 2 days. Contact the Wild Goose if you're still on.
And then there's the marketplace vendors too. Well, we're waiting.
Yes,
yes,
lots of art
and
there.
They're all like independent vendors and small businesses, and
artists,
art, t-shirts, craft people. Again, Heather does a wonderful job in like really curating a variety and a nice balance of stuff for sale there. So support them. We want them to love the goose. Bring spending money if you have it.
Yes. And the vendors, I mean, there was everything from colleges to publishers, all different types of vendors that can help you there to help you grow, be more knowledgeable. I even had a tarot reading. So off of one of the vendor people that were there. So there's the only problem that I can honestly say with the goose is just that there's too much to do in such a short time. Right. There are so many speakers that you want to get to. There are so many things that you can do at the same time. It's all stacked. So like the only regret I had last year was not being present. It's really hard to be present when you're there because there's so much going on.
Right.
And not being able to get to everything, So this year I'm not as booked as I was last year. So I'm going to be going around and seeing everybody and being really present. I ran up to Sarah Cunningham and went, "Hi, I can't talk. Gotta go." That was my introduction to her. It's just because there's so much energy. There's so much going on. So take a moment, be present to really enjoy it, and pack your schedule because there's a lot to do.
And leave space. Leave some space for the wildness. The spontaneity, the unplanned moments. And even if you thought, I wanted to hear that talk, but if you find yourself in conversation with a new friend or a new person, to me, that's...
And you will.
And you will. That's the
and you will. Yep, it is. It is.
Well, and that's what happened last year. No one came to my Saturday talk. No one. So, in fact, Greg was walking over. He's like, "Oh, I'm coming." I'm like, "No, not even going to do it. I'm going to go with Danae." So that's when I got to go see Danae talk. And now she's in our RV and it's, we're even better friends. So I did not let anything because it didn't work out the way as planned, get me down. It was just like, okay, change of plans. Let's go do this. And it worked out even better than I ever could have imagined.
Absolutely.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Yep.
Greg, anything else from you? You've been kind of quiet this evening.
Well, I've just been enjoying the conversation and listening. I being a part of this. The story goes, and Toof was right. You go down there and you meet people. Now, Toof and I met actually before my first experience with the goose. I had heard about this beer and hymns thing in the Detroit area and got invited to go to it. Met Toof and said, "Hey, dude, I've got a guitar. Can I play with you?" So, sure, man, let's do it. So, Detroit Beer and Hymns was...
That was a while ago. That was like 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah.
And then he started saying, "Well, what about this Wild Goose thing?" I'm like, I've heard about it, but I've not yet been in it. And so I signed up for it, went down, volunteered a little bit, got to know some of the people, RV'd next door to Amy Grant that year. I mean, she offered me breakfast. No, not at all. Too fast, Ken. I've got Amy, and she signed my guitar too, so that's still hanging
with a Sharpie.
Yeah, she did. But ever since going to that first goose, every other goose has been different, because there's so much that you can go to, and so many things that you can see. You can pick and choose different writers, different artists, and listen to them, and listen to their presentations, and have a totally different experience every year. It doesn't have to be the same, and that's one of the things that I just find so glorious about it. I remember, I think that year as well, knowing that one of my favorite theologians, Phyllis Tickle, had recently passed away, and there was a memorial to Phyllis Tickle along the trail, leading down through all the vendors, and then even more so recently, I'm blanking on a name right now. Matthew Paul Turner finished her poetry
Rachel
book.
Held Evans.
Thank you. I knew you would know. And all of these wonderful speakers I don't want just to pigeonhole it into Christian theology. I think it just goes bigger than that.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just wonderful. And so the spirit that exists in a place like this, you go, and then, just like Tu said, you find your people, you found a home. This is like church with the capital C, the way it has to exist. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
And to prove what Greg is saying, I went by myself last year. I was carrying my laptop, I had everything, and literally within an hour, I was matched up with these guys. They gave me a home base. It was wonderful. It was so welcoming. So come on, let's do this. It's not just words. The goose is everything that we say that Christianity should be. Everything that the church should be. That is what the goose is.
I agree.
It really is.
And you can drink.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so we are almost at the top of the hour. Anything else to get the vibe going? Oh, let me go ahead and give you guys, as promised, if you go buy your tickets, that's your adult weekend ticket discount code. You'll get $50 off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, too, that the Wild Goose gets its name from a certain poem by Mary Oliver. Am I correct?
Mary Oliver, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think prior to that, it was always been the Celtic metaphor for the Holy Spirit.
Oh.
In Celtic Christianity, yeah.
Okay.
The wild goose that
Interesting.
honks and flies where it will is a metaphor for is their image for the Spirit. And the Mary Oliver poem, which is amazing.
Mary Oliver got it from that, probably
from that Celtic tradition.
Then, excellent.
Well, I actually have some Mary Oliver books on my shelf. I'll have to pull it out.
Well, I've got the poem here.
Okay.
Called Wild Geese. It reads like this: You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things.
Love it.
That one gets me every time.
Yeah, that's excellent.
I always try and look and find it. You know, there's at the festival, there's a big board with that.
There is a board.
On
Yes.
it that has been
Yes.
there since the very first goose.
That's
and
amazing.
That's one of my like try and track and see where they've put it this year.
All right.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, go to the website, buy your tickets, look at all of the phenomenal people that are going to be there. Let me just give you a little bit of see if my tech is actually going to work. Look at these faces.
There we go. Yeah, Tracy Blackman, Brian McLaren, John Pavlovitz, Diana Butler Bass. There's Ken.
Look, it's Ken Medema.
Yep. Paula Stone
There's
Williams
Ken.
is coming back.
Hey, look, two sewn faces in there.
Hey,
look at
there's
that.
me. Whoop, whoop.
Ashes and arrows.
Arrows. Yep.
Hot glue in the gun.
I
So
think
Chris
he likes
Kratzer.
Kratzer.
Yeah.
Me.
There's you.
Obi, Mike Morrell, Matthew Paul Turner. I mean, the names just, come on, people. You got to go. You got to be there. And I can't wait for the moments that I'm sitting in my chair and someone walks up and goes, "Hey, Sherry." And I jump up and give you a big hug. I can't wait because that's the best part of it. But yeah, I mean, again, this page goes on and on. And then there's all kinds of information from last year with Liz and Sarah. They were on the show right after the goose. So go check it out. Get excited with us. And I can't wait to see you there. You're going to be missing out if you don't go. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yes, I agree.
Just going to put it out there you are definitely missing out. So I can't wait to see you all there. Toof, any final words and where can people find you?
My website just went down for the first time in like 3 years.
We
It's
gotta
like
talk about
kaput.
that,
So I
yeah.
got to start a new one. So Facebook, Toof Francis, TUFFRANCIS. And I have no other words other than I hope to see you. I promise you will enjoy every moment of the goose.
Yes.
That's it.
Kirsty, I'm so glad you were able to jump on. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Impromptu
we needed
Thank
you.
guests
you for the welcome.
are the best. Any final words and where can people find you?
They can, online, they find me through my therapy page, though not taking clients right now, fully booked, and I'm about to take a week off for the goose. So, and my wife's music is at terrygonda, TERRYGONDA.com. We lead the Goose in the Round Song Circle at the Common Stage, so you can find us there. Or find me around main stage looking frazzled, and I will absolutely give you a hug.
Perfect.
I'll need it.
Yeah. We'll be touching base for hugs. Got it. Greg,
That's
any
great.
final words and where can people find you?
Folks can find me. I just started a new position here in Macomb County, Michigan, at a church that's in Shelby Township called St. Thomas Community Presbyterian Church. It's a great group of people with a ton of energy and a passion for doing, which is the first time I've really experienced that in my career as an ordained minister. So we're on social media on Facebook at St. Thomas Community Presbyterian Church. And also, too, you can find Toof and I, too, through Detroit Beer and Hymns, which we also have a Facebook page. Beer and Hymns Detroit, actually, is the name of that, too. And they can find us there, too. The only other place you can find me is at the Goose when July rolls around. So I can't wait for it. Just can't wait to see all your beautiful faces.
It's like you're going to Disneyland or something for adults.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the best summer camp ever.
Yes, totally. For adults. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And kids.
Just one time at camp? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you all so much. I'm going to send you backstage. Stay there because I have a few things to say to you afterwards. But let me go ahead and close the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Mm.
So seriously, just go. Let me put it up one more time. That is the website. You can get your tickets there. You can get all of your information there. Hit me up. Hit Toof, Tim, Kirsty, Greg. Hit us all up. I really want to see you there. It will be awesome. Use my name as a discount code and get that $50 off. I will see you next week. And as always, walk in love. Mwah! See you soon.